Hello and welcome to another Gear Theorist video. My name is Dustin Camello, and today we're going to be doing a first shots video with the FN PS90 and the Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7 handgun. This will be a first shots video with my first ever 5.7 firearms here. Now, just to clarify, we are cheating a little bit because this is not the first time I've shot my new FN PS90, and it is not the first time I've shot my Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7. I actually had some first shots videos before this. Unfortunately, we lost all the video footage from that. But this is the first time that we're going to be shooting them together as a proper rifle pistol pairing with the 5.7 cartridge. So I'm going to call it close enough to a first shots video for this 5.7 pairing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and gas up the FN PS90 and let's get her started. All right, first shots just right off the rip. It's very controllable. The recoil is very light. It is a little bit punchy into my shoulder because it is direct blowback, although it keeps it very flat, I would say. So it's pretty good, very, very controllable. All right, now that's actually not the coolest thing about this particular firearm. The coolest thing about this particular firearm is we have a very spicy trigger system installed in it from Armory of Kings. This is the X-PRT 90, the cross progressive reset trigger system from Armory of Kings. So we were in first semi-auto mode here, but this goes to an additional mode. As we can see here, if you pull halfway, you still get semi-auto, but if you continue to pull, you get forced reset. Now, I will say after about 100 to 200 rounds through this, it's hard to get long strings of fire going with this particular trigger system. But if you're doing it just in short controlled bursts as you would in a real life situation, it actually works really well. I can get good 3 to 5 round bursts with this trigger without much difficulty at all. And I keep getting better and better at it when I continue to use the trigger. Now, what I will do now is I'm going to pull the trigger all the way to the rear with all my might to show you what the malfunction looks like when you do that. I guess it didn't actually malfunction that time. I was able to get a full pull on the trigger, and I was able to get it to go all the way. And yeah, we're completely out. So let's do some shooting with the Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7. I really like this handgun as opposed to 9mm Smith & Wesson M&Ps. It has very light recoil and it's extremely accurate. But with the 5.7 platform itself is, some people would say, less effective than 9mm. Some people say more effective than 9mm. It's probably just kind of in the ballpark of 9mm. Some people say it's extremely effective. Other people say it's more like 380. But for the amount of recoil that it gives you, the lower amount of recoil, and the fact that you're getting 22 round magazines with this, and with a spare magazine on my side, you've got, with +1 in the chamber, you've got 45 rounds on tap when you're concealed carrying this gun. So, I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at, I would say. So it's a very effective platform. But moreover than the effectiveness, it is just a blast to shoot. Literally and figuratively. You get a lot of blast from this handgun. It doesn't have a lot of recoil, but it really gives you some positive feedback when you're shooting it. You can get a very definitive slap on the steel. All right. very good. The red dot that I have on this is the Holosun HS507K X2 with the Vulcan ACSS reticle in it. It's very good because when you pull the handgun out of your holster and you go to aim down range, you're never hunting for your dot. If you're misplaced left, right, up, or down, and you can't see the dot in the window, you'll see a large ring on the outside, and that will immediately allow you to re-index your red dot in the center. It'll allow you to move the firearm in such a way that you can actually re-index the red dot into the center of the reticle, into the center of the glass window, and then you can get back on target very, very quickly. So I never have any problems finding the red dot with this particular red dot system, and it's extremely effective, I would say. All right. We are out there. She is kind of hot. We're going to holster up anyway. All right. Now we're going to reload this PS90, put her back on safe. As you guys can see, I'm doing my best Colonel Jack O'Neill impression here. Got the Stargate patches. We're going to be doing a lot more content going forward. And we're just going to have a bunch of fun with the PS90 and the Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7. Okay, so last time we tried to shoot the FN PS90, I tried to pull the trigger all the way to the rear and see if I could jam up the gun. I was not able to jam up the gun. It just ran. So this time we're going to try that again. And again, it jammed up before, but it wasn't really an issue that required me to run the action of the charging handle or pull out the magazine or anything like that. I would pull it all the way to the rear, hold it there, and it would just stop firing. And all you'd have to do was let off of the trigger and pull the trigger again, and then it would continue to run afterwards. So I would say it's not catastrophic as long as you're firing it in bursts. It like you should be doing anyway. It still gives you that capability without having to actually manipulate it to clear the jam. But this is within the first 200 to 400 rounds of me shooting the gun. And as you can see beforehand, I was actually shooting, I was pulling it all the way to the rear, and the trigger did not lock up. It actually ran the rest of the magazine. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to just shoot the gun with the trigger pulled all the way to the rear and see if we can do a full burst of all 50 rounds or if it will jam up in the middle of it. So we're in full fun mode. Let's see if we can get her to go. Oh yeah, it jammed up there a little bit, but all I had to do was release the trigger and now I can go at it again. And again, gotta release the trigger and go at it again. And I believe we're out. Yes, we are out. I would say 100% reliable, at least with the FN 5.7 ammunition we were using. We were using the SS197 stuff, the 40 grain polymer tip, blue polymer tip from FN directly. I would recommend using that ammunition. I tried some of the Fiocchi 40 grain black polymer tip stuff, and it didn't seem to be as hot. It didn't seem to run the action as fervently as the FN stuff. So if it were me, I would go with the FN stuff over the Fiocchi stuff if you're running a FN PS90 with the force reset trigger in it. So all right, that's about it. But I want to remind everyone out there, as always, to get out there, gear up, and bring glory to God.